And I knew enough about urban renewal stuff and all of that, and said, let's do it inside the Beltway, and it became Bethesda. And it seemed like the right place.
What were your initial impressions of Bethesda?
Expensive.
It seemed like, the right kind of area to come to.
So you had your 10-year anniversary at Elgin Lane.
Yeah.
Do you remember what you thought at 10 years?
I was overwhelmed. This was all busy time, very busy time. It's the same kind of time you guys have.
Thinking back on the anniversaries, do you remember any of them?
Do I remember any anniversary? No. None of them stick out. I told you, your father, there was a standing joke between us that he would never give me flowers. And every now and then there'd be one flower that would appear, but it was one of you guys was supposed to be giving it to me. It wasn't supposed to be him. So, in fact, it was when you were in law school, the first year, you sent me some flowers one year. And you sent me a dozen roses, which was a big deal. And your father, for the very first time, it was just very funny, came home that time with 6 roses. And you'd outdone him for the very first time he ever gave flowers. So he was embarrassed as could be. But just think about it. I mean, it was, you were in law school before he gave it.
10-year anniversary. Not much.
What anniversary sticks out for you the most before your 50th? Do you have memories of a specific one?
I have some memories of some of them. We went down to Chesapeake Beach. Not really very memorable, I don't know what we did for our 10th anniversary. Did we go anywhere?
How about flowers? What's your feeling on flowers?
I slowly, methodically got into providing flowers. In the beginning, I feel like I got modestly to more chastised for not providing. And then it became a problem when my kids would provide some flowers and I didn't. So I knew I better change my outlook.
What would you have said about your pre-marriage wife versus your post-marriage wife? Was she the same, different? Did you get what you bargained for?
For sure. What am I going to say?
So thinking back on 50 plus years, what are your best memories of your marriage?
One of the things I love most about him is his sense of humor. It keeps you going. But he said, okay, we're going to have this agreement. He says, I get to decide all the big things and you get to decide all the small things. And he says, I get to decide whether we go to war, whether the economy is good or bad, whether the Red Sox win this year. He said, you get to decide where we live, what happens with the kids, how we use our money.
The small things.
The small things. So, and he's fairly much stuck to that. It isn't quite that way, obviously. We obviously decide together, but we just don't fight over many things. We always decided, I think, neither one of us, that it was worth fighting over many things. We enjoyed being parents.
What would you say are your best memories of 50 years of marriage?
I guess best memories are feeling lucky that we've had a really good family. We've had our kids, watch our kids grow up, do things together with them. And count our blessings about it all.
What qualities would you describe in your wife?
Almost all good qualities. Very smart, very compassionate, very thoughtful, very compassionate in the broad sense of, sort of loving all kinds of stuff. I mean, she's loved her job, she's loved us being together, she's loved having the family grow up and do things. And we've sort of been intimately that way as a family. And she fosters it and has better emotional things about how to treat situations than I do, and I admire her for that.
What's the secret to 50 years of marriage?
One day at a time.
I think, I give him a lot of credit for my being able to grow as far as I did. Because always he had my back. Your father and I we have more of a very relaxed marriage. I think there's a lot of love in it.
What qualities do you think of when you think of your husband?
Very smart, very compassionate, loving, very into his family, more so than most husbands I know, and fathers and grandfathers that I know. Supportive, humor, great sense of humor. I don't know, he definitely is for the long haul type person, it's very comfortable to live with it.
What's the secret to 50 years of marriage?
We're best friends. I would say that's probably the biggest secret, is really liking each other. It isn't just love, it's even though we don't always share the same interest at the time. I mean, your father will endlessly watch soccer games, as you know. He will, he likes certain things a whole lot. But we can be in this house, in separate parts of the house, and feel very comfortable about that. It isn't like it's being pulled apart. I will do my thing, he'll do his thing. I have my friends on the side that I go out with quite a lot. He goes with your son. So I think he spends more time with Gabe than he spends with me sometimes.
You just do it, and suddenly it's 10 years, and 20 years, and 30 years, and 40 years. And can you believe it's coming up to 50 years?
You're about to be married for 50 years. Tell your partner of 50 years, what message would you give him on that day?
On this. But my father's statement to my mother always was he had a contract with her that they'd make it 50 years. And he made it 52 years. So I guess my whole thing is people are healthier now than they were then. I mean, I do not have MS like my mother did. And your father's been healthy. And so I'm asking him basically for more than 50. Basically, I want an extension on this contract. So I want to negotiate a new out there settlement. I'm not sure he ever cut it off at 50 like my father did, but in the back of my head, he's always been like my father. As a lot of people always said that he reminded them of my father. And I think that's probably true. So, my message to him would be, stick it out with me. We're here for a longer haul than this.
All right, this is a big one. So,
I thought most of them would be.
on the occasion of your 50th wedding anniversary, what message would you send to your partner of 50 years?
That I've loved her all this time, and I look forward to continuing to do it.
She proposed extending your 50-year contract longer. Are you ready to accept?
Accept the max deal.
What's the question?
Gonna sign a max deal?
What's a max? Another 50 years?
It's your deal. Let us know.
Yeah. Who were some of those players who sometimes got a contract for life? That's what you get.
All right, and one final question. So you're describing to people who don't know you, to future generations, to anyone, you and your husband as a couple.
Very close. No strain in being together, I guess. Loving, very family oriented, more so than social.
I guess I would describe that, but I think we've had as good, as great, as sort of perfect within the confines of nothing's totally perfect situation as you can find.
For your father and for me, but for your father especially, it's this immediate family thing of building our own family that's close and, does things with each other and loves each other. That's the most important part of both of us. And that kind of shows, I think, in the way you guys handle your families. We're very proud of what our kids turned out to be and their families. And our grandchildren are wonderful, and we enjoy that more than anything. And given our brothers, we would go deal with grandchildren and children any day over anything else we could do. And I think that shows. I think with everybody I know, they understand that. So, you guys were our payoff. It's kind of, and grandchildren are your reward for being a parent. Because you can go do the good things with the grandchildren and then walk away and leave all the rest of it to you. so you gotta take the good with the bad, and even when your grandfather goes after you, he loves you a whole lot, and that's what he loves doing. He would do that over anything else. He's upstairs working on your film.
Yeah.
From your game. That's what he's doing. He could watch that. I hear that from upstairs. Like all morning when I'm waking up, I can hear these kids cheering on the machine, and I know exactly what he's watching. For the 85th time, he's trying to get it onto some kind of film that he's not getting to work. And he's still sticking with it, and that's not your father. This missing things. That's not him. You have to understand your grandfather's the type. Your father used to say to Laura when she would come close to the room, he'd say, "Don't go in there. He's got a hammer out. He's going to fix something." Because your grandfather couldn't do any of that. He gets so frustrated. But here he'll sit for hours and hours and hours. And he'll come back and he'll say, "I lost it again." I just love it, He's so into this. But it's only because you're on it. He wouldn't do this for anything else. So, there's what's the secret? The secret is love, after all this time. It's just enjoying that. No, I think you have to stop and enjoy it along the way. So, it doesn't feel like 50 years to me. That's slipped by. I don't know where it is. I'd like to have some of that back. Some of it I'd like to redo. But, it'll be fine. And I do want the, negotiated out years.